I'm 6 months pregnant, and genuinely one of the hardest things that I have found so far is trying to come up with a name, because I figured out really early on that there is a huge difference between just liking a name but liking that name for your own baby. So I thought I would just run through some of the names that I thought that I loved and were potentials for our little girl, but most definitely are now. So first up is the name Andy. I loved this name for the longest time, and I really thought that it was a potential, but the more I said it, she was just not going to be Andy. The next one is Joy, but just the more we said it, the more we were just like, no, it's not going to be Joy. Next one is Stevie. I'm a huge Stevie Nicks fan, so that is definitely where the love of that name came from, and I just feel like it would be such a cool name for a little girl. Like, a little girl called Stevie would just be the cutest. But again, the more we said it, it's just not for us. She's not going to be a Stevie. So the next two names, Fraser kind of vetoed instantly. Like, they were on my list. They were kind of like wild cards that I had heard kicking around that I thought were quite sweet. I kind of knew in my heart that we were never going to go for these names. So the first one is Noah. I heard someone say this maybe like a couple of years ago, and obviously I've heard lots of little girls and little boys called Noah, and I have liked the name, but I've never like really seriously thought about it. But also, as soon as I said it, I kind of like knew in my heart that when we were to have a little one, they were never going to be Noah. But it is a really sweet name. So the last one that I had written down was, again, another wild card. I had just heard like a couple of little girls with this name and I really liked it, and it's a Scottish name, so obviously I really liked the nod towards the fact that we're Scottish. But again, Fraser vetoed it instantly, and the more I said it, I knew that it just wasn't going to be the name. But the last one was Bonnie, which is just so cute. It's such a cute name for a little girl, and I love it, and I love seeing other little girls having that name, but again, just not for us. So we have two names picked out. I think we're pretty set on it being one of those two names, and it's hilarious because it's two names that I would have never thought of before I was pregnant. But it's funny how as soon as you actually are pregnant and you are tangibly thinking about naming your baby, how just names that you thought you liked just go out the window and you start thinking of new names. We're not going to tell anyone the names that we are thinking of until she's named and we are introducing her to the world. But yeah, those were just some names that were on our list that we won't be calling our little girl.